We both know why you're here, and that's to talk about the next Fallout.
One of the questions I get asked the most is a variation of where do you think the next Fallout will take place? Of course, I have my answers to where I think it would take place, or especially where I would want it to take place. Still, I have frequently answered by saying I don't think we are going to get another Fallout game. This thought process doesn't come from pessimism either. It comes from taking off the fanboy goggles and really looking at the series for what it is. I have been a fan of the Fallout games since the 90s, so though it is hard to remove the nostalgia and fanatic filter from my brain, when I do, I don't see a series that is on the rise and looking to expand. Instead, I see a series that has given many people some of the most exciting stories in gaming, now venturing into a new era of live service experiences and overpowering monetization tactics. I feel like I should explain that this video's purpose will not be to talk about the many problems that have plagued Fallout 76. Instead, it will be looking at the very likely possibility that 76 will be the last full Fallout game released. Of course, I don't work with Bethesda, nor do I talk to anyone regularly who does, so this is just a theory. I would argue it's an educated take from someone who has cared about the franchise most of their life and wants to take an outsider's look at the facts. Let's start with the elephants in the room, the coming release of Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. From what I understand, Starfield is a project that Bethesda lead Todd Howard has been looking to develop since he was a teenager, as Howard stated in interviews that this was the game that he has always wanted to make. With the development of Starfield, Todd Howard will be accomplishing probably one of the biggest personal goals of his career, making a childhood dream into a reality with all of the skills he has learned throughout his illustrious time in the gaming industry. This project's completion ties in significantly to why we could be seeing the end of the Fallout series, as it is likely that Todd will retire shortly after the release of Elder Scrolls 6, as I imagine at this point he would be lightly overseeing the project and perhaps grooming another person for the job. So what does this have to do with Starfield? Why would I assume that Todd Howard would be retiring? These questions are answered with a bit of common sense and exploring just a few areas that I don't see a lot of people bringing up when talking about not only the future of the Fallout franchise, but Bethesda as a whole. Todd is by no means old at the time of this recording, 49 to be exact, but with basic math we can start to see the reality of the situation. Oblivion, the fourth title in the Elder Scrolls series, was in development for 5 years. Fallout 3, the company's next game, spent 6 years in development, with Skyrim taking just as long and Fallout 4 taking the team 7 years to complete. Now, personally, I think we could see Starfield in the next couple of years. It seems further in development, and Todd Howard has even gone as far as to slate it before the Elder Scrolls 6. This could mean that though we could see Starfield as early as 2021, we likely won't see Elder Scrolls 6 until 7 years after that, perhaps even close to 2030. With these games in development, it is pretty hard to fathom that Bethesda would be working on a new, single-player Fallout game. So assuming the math continues, it could be as late as 2040 that we would even see a new Fallout game. If Elder Scrolls 6 matches its predecessors and adds another year to the development time, work on Fallout 5 probably wouldn't be able to start until around that 2030 mark, and with the games taking about 10 years to make at this point, that is a long way out. To put this into perspective, by the year 2030, Todd Howard will be nearing 60 years old. If Bethesda continues the development cycle, he would be close to 70 by the time Fallout 5 would be released. This is the majority of the reason I think we will see him retire after the release of the next Elder Scrolls game. Sure, a Todd Howard retirement doesn't necessarily mean the end of the Fallout franchise. Still, he is the sole reason it was purchased by Bethesda in the first place. In interviews, Todd said he had to have the franchise as it was one of his favorite series in his college years. Once it was up for grabs, he ruthlessly pursued it. This leads us to Fallout 76. During the lead up to Fallout 76, Bethesda doubled down on the longevity of the project, with plans to keep the game updated for 15 to 20 years. Now, whether this was hyperbole or not, it does show the intention Bethesda has with the extended life of this project. This model is what the live service experience thrives on. Bethesda has deep enough pockets to withstand the various controversies that showed their head. Where other, smaller game studios may have gone under, Bethesda was able to power through and get to a point where the game seemed to be improving. Regardless of the state of Fallout 76, these plans fit well into the timeline established earlier in the video. With these projects taking as long as they do, we will not likely see another Fallout. Bethesda seems content on the amount of money Fallout 76 brings in, with the ability to update it as frequently as they want, with bigger and better content. There is really no need to crank out another full single-player experience in the Fallout universe. This is also supported by the upcoming Fallout Shelter Online, which has, at this point, only been available in the Chinese market, but would have to find its way to the States soon, especially with today's geopolitical climate. It is downright foolish to think Todd Howard will still be with Bethesda at the level he is now in 20 years. as the current average retirement age is about 62, leaving Todd 10 years and some change before he hits that target. Like I said before, his departure certainly doesn't mean the end of the series. Perhaps someone would want to helm another Fallout game. Still, after 20 years, the gaming industry will likely be a very different place. Some hopefuls may think that Bethesda has already started the next Fallout game, making the time of development now and pushing on to believe that perhaps in another 8 years, we could be looking at the next entry. I just don't see it due to the success of Fallout 76. If Bethesda can simply keep updating Fallout 76 with more of an ear to what the people playing the game want to see, why wouldn't they? It seems to me that the plan now is to turn Fallout into the moneymaker long term, with things like the television series on the horizon and Fallout Shelter on the way. I can't see a future that Bethesda takes time away from other projects to pump out a new Fallout experience. Of course, this is all theory. I have no insider knowledge myself, but I think it is a theory based on reality. To sum it up, I think we will see the release of Starfield, Todd's magnum opus. Afterward, the Elder Scrolls 6, years down the line. After the release of Elder Scrolls 6, I am almost sure we will see a Todd Howard retirement, putting the future of the series in uncertainty. Though some may say that Todd leaving could save the series, I would imagine it would actually be the opposite. I look at Fallout 76 as a way to always have the series around, but as a live service. I believe Bethesda told the stories they wanted to on the grand scale of things, and they just want to move on to other things. Of course, holding the rights to Fallout and using them for these online ventures. Whatever the case may be, we will always have the tremendous memories from the Fallout series. Nothing can change that. And with how serious the mod scene for the games is, I imagine there will be great stories to come in the future. Personally, I would guess we will see remasters of previous Fallout games before we actually see a new one. It might be hard to accept it, but Fallout 76 is likely the final Fallout game.
We know you've played a lot of our games and a lot of online games, but this one really is unique. We have built a platform, 100% dedicated servers that will support this game now and for years to come. And look, we know this is new for all of you. It's new for us. It's a little bit scary. And to that end, we're going to need your help. Because yes, we are going to have a beta. And it is sponsored by our friends at Vault-Tec as well, the Break It Early test application. Because evidently, these online games are hard, they can have some nasty issues. I read on the internet that our games have had a few bugs. I read it on the internet, so it's true. And that sometimes it doesn't just work. Anyway, we know together that we are going to build something really special. And we also know that all of you love our special editions. And we have an awesome collector's edition for you. It starts with a map of the world that glows in the fucking dark. And it's great. It's so cool.
Thank you for checking out my video about Fallout 76 being the final Fallout game. If you enjoyed it, consider leaving a like and subscribing for more Fallout content. I want to thank my patrons and YouTube channel members, and a special thanks to my biggest supporters, Kim Jong-un, JP Rivera, Not Catchy, Stupendous Skellington, Fireflare, Primarch Mustard, Edgy, Bill Scott Sheets, Death6199, Alexander Cobb, Laud Have Mercy, Thomas, Papa Swanson, and Billy Joe Jim Bob. Thank you for your continued support. I hope to catch you on the next one. It has been Mantis.
You dork. Go back to the chess club. Who's laughing now? Yes, I was in the chess club.
I gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day you die, you gon' touch the sky. You gon' touch the sky, baby girl. Testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day you die.